My name is Lecturer Clergy, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome speaking here in Nairobi National Government, Embakasi East Constituency, Embakasi Ward Assembly, normally called Miyango Ward. This actually afternoon, I would like to share the Word of God in religious political philosophy context. In religious political philosophy context. Why am I saying so? I'm looking forward to be Kenya president come September 13, 2027 election. So in that case then, I'm a religious political preacher in that case. And the party I'm actually, having now is to my Liberation Party, which is of course has been approved and also actually officiated as one of the parties in Kenya by Honorable Ann Derito. And my Vice President, Honorable Gugubo, a retired Kenya Army Brigadier. Honorable Nixon Gugubo Jeremiah is from Bungoma. He was on ballot paper 2022 election, and I was deputizing that time. But we have changed now the, a guard, a change of guard in military language. I'm now going to be the president. And then we are going to also have a Prime Minister, retired United States of America President, a son of Kenya, Luo, ethnic group, Nelot, His Excellency Dr. Barack Hussein Obama. I'm just going to be actually a ceremonial president myself. I, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome from Marsabit. So I'm also going to have two, women, we call them first ladies, in near future. The incumbent head of state is Dr. William Samoei Ruto youngest daughter, Honorable Miss Charlene Ruto as one of my first ladies. And then also Supreme People's Power President, youngest daughter, East Africa Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament, Honorable Miss Winimgad Raila Amolo Odinga. So today I want to share with you the Word of God. Why, some spies of Israelite visited a house of a prostitute, which is called, Rahab, which of course accepted them. There's a message now we are reading from, which was written by the president of, Israel at that time, who sent them, called Joshua. In the book of Joshua, and it was actually written about the story, true story, 1390 before Christ's birth. If we add today, dispensation period, it's about 1400 and 12 years before Jesus' birth. We are to add that kind of a dispensation period of that time up to today. It is about that kind of years. Probably we will, also ourselves encounter such kind of a story recurring again in whole other nations, probably even in Kenya. So this man of God actually wrote to Israelite to continue with the story of their nation, and he was assuring them to own the existence of God at all times. So actually, what it is written here is actually Rahab and the spies. Rahab and the spies. Which of course, why visit the house of prostitute? We are told, no doubt, it was a good place to find out, information. The house of a prostitute, so many people, men, used to go and relieve themselves. I don't have to speak more than that. So it was actually a kind of a place whereby they will get information, which of course it will be blended with other travelers with no question asked. When we have also, these sex workers, and no one knows, and they don't even, bother to ask men their names or where they come from. The interest is only money. So this woman, it was a very unique one, because the travelers used to go and have a kind of whatever they want to have there, and it was a very welcoming woman. And we are told also it was a God-fearing woman. All right, probably he was just actually tempted to be a sex worker in that case, but she was a God-fearing person. So she was living in a house on the city wall that was best for the quick escape by those two, Israelite spies who went to spy Jericho, a Canaanite city, in order to come and attack them, which of course they did, and spared only that woman and his family. So that was actually a place they will not be easily be discovered. But we are told in Joshua chapter 2, verse 1 and 2 and the following, then Joshua, the president of, of Israel, son of Nun, secretly sent the two spies of Israel from a place called Shittim to go over the land, and especially to Jericho, where they will attack, and to enter that city secretly, particularly in the house of a prostitute, which of course they went there accidentally, and they were also supposed to be staying there. So they went there and entered the house of a prostitute, Rahab, and they stayed there. Then verse 2, that's Joshua chapter 2, verse 2 again, the king of Jericho then, which was a Canaanite, was told that there are some Israelites who came to tonight and spy their land. Verse 3, we are told the king of Jericho then sent a message to Rahab to bring those two men to them who have actually entered his house. But in verse 4, we are told the woman had taken the two men, that is Rahab, and hidden them, and said, these men came, but I did not know where they come from. So he did not actually disclose that kind of a location where the men are, but should have been actually at his own house. So at dusk, it was time to close the city gate, and the men left in that case, and he said that he did not know or went after them. So that is why now the people left. But after they left, then he decided to to provide them a kind of an escape route. I'm reading from New International Version Bible, Sondervan Publishing House, Grand Rapids, Michigan, United States of America. Kind of a Sondervan Publishing House, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this Bible actually gives us wisdom and from God actually come knowledge and understanding in Proverbs chapter 2 verse 6. So know that I'm reading actually the Bible beyond reasonable doubt, and this book is actually from where I've said. I was given by a friend from US. That was my person who was sponsoring me a long time ago, but now the sponsorship has just stopped because they grew old and have been also poisoned at Nakuru, Section 58, Chalika International President, whereby the office is based in Birmingham, and now they are also in Section 58, Nakuru. It was actually poisoned 2001, and was called Dr. Max Lang. Dr. Max Lang was the one who gave me this Bible. I think I have his photo here. Probably I will show you, so that even in case you might have come across him, then you will not doubt to see him, because he's a man of God. So here he is, Dr. Max Lang, and Madam Malice Lang. He's the president of Chalika International, Birmingham, United States of America. He was poisoned 2005 because their office is in Section 58 Nakuru. So that is now, whoever did that, we can term as terrorists. So we don't know who did it, but we are told by the doctors it was a kind of food poisoning. It was a kind of food poisoning, which has brought us to miss that man. I don't know whether he's still alive or not, together with his wife, but he has been a person of great help to African countries, particularly and other nations, continents, because actually we have been just like his chicks. He used to take care of us, but after he left, we are all in problem. We ended up being in problem, actually. So Dr. Max, I said it, this is Schalke International, Bellingham. All right, you can see it here clearly. Then Dr. Max used to sponsor me also, and Schalke International, in that case, he was actually the president of and founder of Schalke International, Bellingham, Washington, D.C. He was the board of director, Dr. G. Max Lang, founder or president of Schalke International. They are based also in Nakuru Section 58, but I don't know what happened to the company. It's called now Schalke Worldwide. They used to give me about $225 before they are poisoned. And we took this photo actually at actually, we call it, the photo we took at State Park Nakuru 201. Okay? That was actually the last time we have been with this, man of God and his wife. This is actually Nakuru, Kenya, Republic, East Africa. Alright? State Lodge, okay? Actually, State Lodge in Nakuru there. So, Dr. Max was actually sponsoring Philippine countries, a country called Philippines, Kenya, Belarus, Haiti, Peru, India, Sri Lanka, Uganda, Thailand, and Mexico. Alright? Somebody wrote actually to Schalke and say I'm dead when I was teaching in Narok Bible College, but I'm still alive. So we have people who are so terrible in this world. So actually, when I was teaching in Narok Bible College, they wrote and say I am dead. Alright? And then my sponsorship was stopped when I was teaching in Narok Bible College. And somebody was giving my money. I don't know who is that. Okay? I was teaching Narok Bible College here in Narok County Government. So what we have to say here, we are learning about something which has occurred and keep on occurring in the world. A true Bible story about God using a very unique lady called Rahab, which of course it was called a prostitute, but God used him, or her, in that case, God used her mightily. She was a Canaanite in Old Testament report, Bible, prostitute from Jericho, who has decided to hide two Hebrews or Jewish spies to help them to escape from their pagan enemies called Canaanites of Jericho city. And later, the spies now after Israel attacked Jericho, alright, they spared, Rahab family. You can also read actually Joshua 2:1 to 2 and the following, the one I've read. Psalms 89:10, Isaiah 51:9, Psalms 87:4, and Isaiah 30:7. The Bible says that Rahab was a Canaanite woman specially identified as a prostitute who lived in Jericho, and she was best known for her role in the Israelite conquest of Canaan, where she sheltered two Israelite spies sent by their president Joshua to scout Jericho. Then, prostitute Rahab actions, motivated by faith in Israelite God, that led her and her family being spared with Israelite spies when they destroyed actually Jericho, Canaan city. What we will learn here in detail is actually a hidden identity. The spies sought refuge in Rahab's house, which was located on the city wall, an easy route to escape. This woman was having faith and trust in God. So she was a Canaanite, demonstrated faith in Israelite God, and feared God's power of Israel. She believed also Israelites could conquer Jericho because God has actually shown her that kind of, wisdom and understanding and knowledge. So she spared her family because of her wisdom. A pact and protection also, that we are told this woman Rahab made a deal with the spies, hiding them from a king's men and helping them escape in exchange for the promise that our family will be spared when Jericho city will actually fall. Scarlett actually she had an identity when the area was struck. So Rahab the prostitute marked the house with a scarlet cord in the window, which served as a signal to the Israelites to identify a house and spare her own family. Inclusion in Israel, this woman was included in Israel conquest, but also we see that Rahab actually promise was fulfilled. Her household actually become part of Israelite kind of people, because they are not conquered, they are not killed. We are told also genealogy significance of this woman. All right, we are told here, Prostitute Rahab's story is not just about a single event. It was significant because it is mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus Christ in the New Testament. The lady story is highlighted that God can use anyone to accomplish His purpose, regardless of which background or whichever race or religions you are, or color or gender. And then this woman was also considered outsiders. Can also story can be included in God's plan, like Israelite people, if you believe in God. So I, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome, the president on Monday, September 13, 2027, I just want to tell Kenyan I will be ceremonial president, and I just decided to narrate this kind of a story as a roadmap for people to know that God can actually give people good government and bad government at the same time, and different times as well. The most profound question that demand honest and frank comments answers. We are seeing there how can poor vagabond of homeless Chokoras family, slums areas people lost the glory or in their riches, okay, when actually this 5 president took over, these blacks. Many people have lost their properties and lives when Africans took over the country from Britain after ruling us 1920 to 1963. We had 3 Kikuyu presidents, Bantus and 2 Nalots, Kalenjins. We've seen that so many people became now homeless and Chokoras more than even during colonial time. We are told also the Kenya politics is becoming very bad since 1969 up to now 2025 and the following years. Particularly, we are seeing that it is actually going under ethnical kind of tribal politics, which is, of course, we have now 3 kind of wings of politics. We have superpower warlord of East Africa and Central Africa, Nilotic ethnic group warlords, which are actually comprises of so many tribes, close to 2/3. And then we have also weak-willed Bantu ethnic background tribes, and then they call themselves Ngemas, Gikuyu, Embu, Meru, and Akembes. And then we have also Meru, Embu. We have Gikuyu, Embu, Meru, and Akembes. We call them Ngemas, which are weak-willed people. But now they want also to have another 4th president, which will be impossible after having had 3. We are also told that we have also minority Kushite tribes in this story, which I am now trying to associate to Kenyan to know, which of course they are also associated with Nalots when electionary period comes. And then we are seeing that most of these elections are marred with a lot of deaths and also people, property destroyed, and many of them being maimed or crippled permanently, and untold people's property destroyed. I want Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome people to, to know this, because I'm looking forward to be Kenya president. With actually vice president, I said Honorable, Kugubo, Jeremiah, retired Kenya brigadier, and then of army, and then power of prime minister, retired America president, Honorable Dr. Barack Hussein Obama, and my 2 first ladies, Honorable Charlene Mess, in command head of state, youngest daughter, Dr. His Excellency Sir Dr. William Ruto, and then I also have another first lady, Supreme People's Power President, the youngest daughter, Imgad, we need Raila Amolo Odinga, His Excellency Sir Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga. So actually, we want to have actually a good government, which of course, which will not be compared to this one now, which is denying us all the welfares and all rights. They are not actually observing even humanity's sanctity of life. There's no freedom of movement, this one. A lot of nepotism and partiality in leadership. And then there's also unemployment. And there's so many other factors surrounding this government. Abductions, people disappearing, is not actually welcome in many nations. So what we have to say here, Rahab was approached, but God used her mightily. And so God can use anybody, all right, to accomplish his own work. So I just want to tell people to be not to be judgmental, to judge others. You can think that the person is actually a prostitute, and God cannot spare that person, but He can. God has power to do that. God can spare the person's life, and also spare others. And God can use anyone. So let's not be judgmental. And then remember also, many Kenyans, 3/4 are living below poverty life of poverty, of hand to mouth, and they are not assurance of their normal meals, okay, everyday meals. They are not assured. You don't know where your meal will come from. We have so many chokoras even around my house. And I've given them whatever I have, and they are also almost like chokora in a way. Clothing I've given out, the little resources I am having, and I want the government also to chip in. I'm living in Nairobi National Government, Embakasi East Constituency, Embakasi Village. They call it Miango Ward. We have actually 17 constituency in Nairobi National Government, with 85 Ward Assembly levels are elected, duly elected, with many others which are not elected. They are about 122. And Embakasi is about 12 square kilometers, all right, about 12 miles, with 5 MCS, members of county assemblies. So what I want to say here to conclude this matter, I have actually decided to write down whatever I did today to demonstrate why, a good decision-making abilities in the electoral period is very important, particularly toward actually electing God-fearing people. In Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2, whenever God-fearing leaders are there on the throne, people used to enjoy and they will not groan. And when actually people who are not God-fearing are on the throne, people will cry or groan that case. So it is up to you Kenyans to avoid the tribalism and ethnicity politics prototype, okay? And let us actually create a kind of environment to choose one leader God-fearing. And I believe, I'm not very far from God. I believe in God and I respect humanity's sanctity of life, and also all living things generally and non-living things equally, because they are all God created, beings and also created things. I just want also to tell Kenyans that the experience of Kenyans are not actually having any yearly project program going on, because there's no one auditing to show us the transparency of our yearly project program. In a capital kind of relationship, way of budget, deliveries, or expenditure form budgets, or recurrent budgets and capital budget expenditures. We are not told by the Auditor General. We are not told